80% of businesses fail because of a lack of access to capital. This is the number one reason why businesses fail. The number two reason is because most business owners are not willing to learn from someone who is ahead of them of where they want to get to. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the number one and number two reasons why most businesses fail and how you can avoid them. I'm Alex Otto. I help you start and scale your car rental business. All right, so the data and the statistics don't lie. It is correct. 80% of business owners and businesses fail in the first 5 years. This stat is absolutely damning. And what we find from this statistic is that the number one reason is because of a lack of access to capital. Okay, this tells me that a lot of business owners are going into business basically with no direction. Because if you lack capital, how are you starting a business? You should be strategic and you should have access to someone who can get you the money that you need to start your business. In my industry, in my specific business model, I teach this in a way where people are not tying themselves to debt. There's a very simple formula when it comes to making money, okay? Revenue minus expenses equals profit, all right? So there's two things that you need to do to increase your profits, and that's either to increase your revenue or decrease your expenses or both. All right. Now, my business model specifically, the reason why I teach cash cars, the reason why I tell people to avoid debt is because debt increases your expenses, which decreases your profit and which makes you more likely to fail. Okay. Now, obviously, you can leverage credit, and credit is fantastic. However, you still have to pay back that money, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people just don't understand this concept. And what's scary is that when I was in the credit space, we would get people access to capital. Okay, we would get people access to 50, 60, 100, 120,000, and they would come back a month later saying that they need more money. And I'm flabbergasted. You just got access to $50,000. Do you know how much $50,000 is? You should not need access to more money in 6 months. $50,000, if utilized and deployed correctly, will get you through an entire year, right? Or even 2 years without needing access to money. And the reason why is because a lot of people are getting it backwards. When you take credit from the banks, that money specifically should only go towards buying more cash flowing assets. So in our industry, if you get access to 50K, you should be buying 10 cars with that. You should be 100% buying 10 cars with that. And with the 3 to 4 month ROI, you should make your money 2 to 3 times over in 12 months. So paying back that 50K should be no problem. Okay? But the problem is that people take this money and they go spend it on non-essential expenses. Okay? You should not be using credit on non-essential expenses. You should be using it simply to purchase more assets. Okay? So those are the main reasons why people struggle when they get access to capital. All right? So when I'm building my car rental business, I anticipate for the slow periods. Okay? You always need to anticipate for the slow periods. So your expenses should be no more than 30 to 40% of your overall revenue. All right? The lower, the better. If you're running the cash cars play, your expenses is going to be less than 10% of your revenue, ladies and gentlemen. You should be looking at a 50 to 60% profit margin at the minimum 50%. At the minimum. If you cannot hold a 50%, that means that you have too many expenses and you need to find a solution either by increasing your revenue, right? And that's why I also teach my students to be able to acquire vehicles without any money. You can use joint ventures, okay? So if you're struggling, you can do JV deals. All right, JV deals where you can take other people's cars. You have no monthly payment, you have no insurance costs, and all the money that you make goes straight to your pocket. All right, so JV deals is one of the ways to get yourself out of a bad cash flow situation. All right, so if you're in that situation right now in your business, and a lot of host and car rental business owners are, because a lot of you guys are going out there and taking on a whole bunch of debt with car loans. You're going to the dealership and financing 5-10 cars. Why? You should never, ever do that. That is the fastest way to take yourself out of a business, is by acquiring a bunch of debt first. You should be focused on cash flowing first. First and foremost, cash flow. You can always start with one car and build yourself up. Okay? Always start with one cheap cash car, build yourself up. Because at the end of the day, if your car gets taken out, there's no monthly payment, there's no car loan, and your insurance payment goes away because your car is out. So all your debt literally and expenses literally wipes away if the car gets taken out. But if you have a car note, if your car gets taken out, you're still responsible for that car note. If your car is in the shop, you're still responsible for that car note. Okay, so you have a fixed debt regardless of whether your asset is producing income or not. And that is a very scary place to be. Okay, so I want you to focus specifically on your profit margins, focus specifically on cash flowing. That way you don't put yourself in a situation where you're part of that 80%, because realistically 80% is a huge number. That's 8 out of 10. That's a lot of businesses that are going out, which means that the successful businesses are the minority. Okay, you want to be in the minority. You want to be part of the elite few that succeed. Another reason why businesses fail is because the owners do not know what you're doing. Starting a brand new business is the equivalent to being a baby in life. You're going into a territory that you don't know about. So why not partner with somebody? Why not find a mentor who can give you the information, because they are already where you want to get to? At the end of the day, if you step into a business all on your own, the only information you have is what's in your head. And because you're starting brand new, that means there's no information that you have. All right? So it's very important that you separate yourself from the other businesses. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. All right? If you're serious about starting your car rental business, feel free to join that Facebook community. The link is in my YouTube bio. All right? And once you're in there, you can get access to a consultation call, and I'll show you how to go step by step to starting and scaling your car rental business. All right?